Hey guys, it's here bringing you another video and welcome to my patch 9.5 breakdown. So I did a very quick skim of like what kind of changes there seem to be, and there are some bigger ones, but it seems to be like a micro change patch. Like the later we go down, there's just a lot of little changes. So we'll go through as many as we can. We'll try go through them quite quick. So what's new? Obviously you've got Kale and Morgana, the new versions, they're out. We will be playing those in the coming days. Well, probably Kale over Morgana, because Morgana's hardly changed. Akali, though, has got buffs, I presume, because they did say they were nerfing her and then buffing her. For those that are like, why the hell would they do that? Basically, sometimes the community as a whole in League of Legends gets like a combined hatred for a champion, and that champion will, a ban rate will be crazy. Like there's just hatred of it. So what Riot do sometimes is kind of try and reset the community. They're like, right, we're going to nerf that champion like crazy, but we already know we're going to buff it. And by the time they buff it again, they're hoping the community kind of has like calmed down of that champion. So yeah, that's probably it. Again, I presume if it's not in this patch, Yasuo is probably going to get that treatment pretty soon. I reckon they're probably going to gut that champion, but then buff him after a couple weeks. Because, yeah, Yasuo at the moment has something like he might even have like a 90% ban rate. But it is a little bit... It's not the weird thing with ban rate in League of Legends. Sometimes it's a bit weird because some websites count like both bans. If both team bans Yasuo, that doubles up the percentage. It's a bit weird. But yeah, anyway, the buffs that she's actually getting, edge of ring movement speed duration's gone up by 0.75, and outside the ring movement speed is gone up by again 0.75. So basically, she's just quicker with her passive. That's fine. W, stealth from turrets. Akali is now only revealed by turrets within a turret's attack range rather than its sight range. Oh, interesting. So again, every single tower has got like the sight range is quite large comparing to actually how far it will attack. And now they've changed it that a tower will only see Akali with her W if she's like legit basically under the tower. So it's good for tower dives, but still, I kind of think that tower's sight should just reveal stealth, and Akali's the only stealth champion in the game that has a mechanic that isn't that. So there's a little bit on the fence with me. Damage-wise has gone up on the E first cast, and damage has gone down on the second. So a little bit instant burst, and then less after. That's kind of good for poking, I guess. And the ultimate cooldown has gone down significantly. 20 seconds at rank number 1. Okay. Miko. So I've been playing Miko. If this is a buff, this is actually really good because I think she's actually underrated at the moment. Again, you can more or less just ignore her passive about swapping to different champions. If you can try and get an ultimate, because it obviously stealths you when you're ulting, that's great, but honestly, it's not really needed. Her strength is not her disguises. So what are we doing? So it was a 0.5 second route of all enemies except the last champion hit. And then the route goes more, the last champion hit, increased to blah, 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 if there's more than 2 enemies. So now it's gone up for the first enemy hit and down for... Oh, okay, that's a buff, I think. Yeah, that's a buff. So her route is longer if you just directly hit someone with E, and then you don't always have to rely on hitting other people. So that's actually a buff. That's actually kind of nice. So that's cool. Rakan. W damage and dash speed increased. Just a general buff by the looks of it. Yep. Just a general buff. Nice. Skarner. Wow, I haven't seen him in a while. Spire Radius increased. Red buff Spire now covers Krugs and Raptors on both sides of the map. Oh, Spire's removed from minimap. Wow, they're not putting them on the minimap anymore. So they're not as obvious to the enemy team. That's probably a good thing, because, like, you knew where Skarner was when you just look at minimap and he takes over a tower or whatever. That's good for him. The Spire Radius, though, basically what that means is Skarner gets buffs from those spires if he's in a certain range of them. I think it's like attack speed and stuff. So now it's gone up by a considerable amount. So he has the buff for a longer area than he did before. And also he has a new spire. Red buff spire is now in range of Krugs and Raptors. So that will help him fight other junglers or whoever if he has that spire control. It's just a general Skarner buff. He's still kind of useless because he's a very one-dimensional champion that gets countered by buying one item, but still. Vi, attack speed growth decreased, passive cooldown increased, but W now reduces it. Ooh. Q ratio decreased, no longer deals reduced pass-through damage. Ooh, that's quite good. W attack speed increased, E AoE can now crit. R cooldown, God, they're doing a lot to Vi. R cooldown, damage, and knock-up has been increased and no longer deals reduced. Wow, hello. So her attack damage has gone down, but what have they done? So the passive is higher cooldown than it used to be, but it now does, it gives you more of a shield, so you're a bit beefier. Your Q, it got nerfed technically by AD ratio, but it now doesn't do 25% reduced damage to non-champions. So jungle clearing is better, lane clearing is better with her Q. That's fine. It's just a little bit weaker versus enemy champions, which I'm fine with. Vi Q actually is a lot of damage. W attack speed has been buffed in after rank 1. It's the same at rank 1, starts to get better at rank 2, but now also gets a passive. The blast shield's cooldown is now reduced by 3 seconds whenever denting blow procs. So whenever, I think that's every third auto attack for denting blow, you get 3 seconds off your passive, which is the shield. So even though it got made longer cooldown, if you're using your W, getting those third hits in, you're probably going to end up having relatively the same shield passive, but it actually gives more shielding. So overall, probably a buff. Her E, damage cone now can critically strike. That's good with Triforce, by the way. And the ratio has been, weirdly, nerfed slightly with attack damage and buffed slightly with ability power. Again, Trinity Force is like now completely, like, it's kind of core to her anyway, but now it's even more better because it gives crit, which now your E can crit, and it gives ability power, and it gives a higher ability power E. So yeah, Trinity Force Vi is 100% needed pretty much. And then Ultimate, the cooldown has gone up, so that's a nerf. The damage, however, has been buffed. Weirdly, but it's been buffed in base damage, nerfed in scaling. So this will help Vi's that doesn't do as good. So there you go. But it no longer does the 25% reduced damage to secondary targets. If you're charging through, you'll end up doing more damage to multiple people, not just the one. And Vi knocks back enemies. She passes through, and it's a higher range. Oh, it's a bigger knockback. Okay, interesting. Fair enough. Wait, Triforce gives no AP, doesn't it? Oh, of course it does. I'm an idiot. I was thinking of Lichbane with Sheen. My bad. Yeah, it doesn't. But still, Triforce is going to be 100% on Vi. I'm pretty... Well, it is anyway, but, like, I think it's even going to be more now because of the crit. Relic Shield healing decreased. I'm fine with that because it is a bit obnoxious. Storm Razor... Presume buffs. Yeah, it is buffs. So the attack damage has gone up, the attack speed's gone up, buffed, because people are kind of been ignoring that item since the crit meta. Aftershock, bug fixing Aftershock resistor duration to do what the tooltip says. So it's been nerfed because it actually was doing different things. Wait, it doesn't give crit? Wait, what? Triforce doesn't give crit? But it has... Oh my god, I'm stuck in the old ages, man. Do you remember when Triforce used to be built out of Zeal? Oh, sorry. It's like the first thing I'm doing today, and my mind is probably like 2 years ago. Build Triforce on her, god damn it. Sorry. They changed the crit in season 6. Yeah, I'm years apparently away. My bad. God. To be fair, I don't buy Triforce that much, so that I have an excuse. Conqueror. Yeah, this has been completely gutted, by the way. So I'm pretty sure it's stronger for AP champions than AD, but we'll see. So Adapted Force, it was giving 2 to 10 per stack, with 10 to 50 at max stacks. It now gives 2 to 6 per stack, 10 to 30 at max stacks. Considerable nerf. And then I think this is already... Yeah, these have already been in. But yeah, this... Conqueror is no good. It's no good. Ripperoni pepperoni. Cut down, making it more competitive. Coup de grace on last stand. I doubt that, but let's see what it does. Bonus damage used to be 4 to 10%. It's now 5 to 12%. Versus a target with 10 to 100% more maximum health than you. So obviously that's for killing tanks. Maybe it'll work, but we'll see. So that's mainly the big changes, and now we're getting into the simple changes. So Cho'Gath, which you never see, at least in high racing. E damage increased. Again, it's not going to change the core fundamental of how weak he is as a champion. Dr. Mundo, E magic resist increased. I predict this is because we've seen a kind of resurgence in AP top laners, especially like AP cheese top laners. There's people playing Karma top now. Obviously, Victor's still a little bit around. And Mundo, if they can make him into like the counter to that, like an AP mage literally could not do anything. Like, think about Mundo in theory. He's now getting higher magic resist. Wait, his E will give 42% magic resist, apparently. Okay, interesting. But yeah, so him with that and Spirit Visage and an adaptive helm, you're not killing a Mundo as an AP top laner. You're just not. So they are potentially putting him in that bracket of, you want to play Karma top, Lulu top, you know, any of those? Mundo. So, yep. Ooh, Gangplank. Again, I do want to play more Gangplank. E bonus damage to champions increased. Huh? R damage per wave increased. Huh? Gangplank buffs? What? So the bonus damage to champions has gone up early game. Ooh, snap. They buffed Gangplank's early game? The reason why I stopped playing Gangplank because of how weak his early game is. Ooh. And then the damage, or the ultimate, has gone up a little bit. Yeah, a little bit with magic damage, but then maximum damage has gone up as well. Wow, considerably. Gangplank's back. Back again. Hello. We might be playing Gangplank very soon. I think he's also donated for Iron to Diamond. Interesting. If they've made his lane phase not as terrible, even by just a little bit, that's a really good thing for me. Also probably Tobias Fate, I'd imagine. Graves, base attack damage increase. They're buffing Graves? What? Graves is still really good. Okay, well, Riot knows best, apparently. They're buffing his attack damage. Oh, God, okay. Interesting. Jhin, Q damage increased. I'm fine with that. Jhin does seem to be on the weaker end of AD carries. So, yeah, that's fine. Nunu, I presume nerfs, right? He's really strong. So, 20 health down and consume heal is down in late game, mid-late game. So it's still okay in the early game for his early clear. And some people, again, says, you know, why 20 health nerf, Huz? That means nothing. No, it doesn't. How many times have you had, and well, some of you probably haven't, but anybody who's ever played jungle against a Nunu, and it's like, oh, he just got away with 10 health, 20 health, like after stealing my red buff, he's dead now because he's got 20 less health. That's the nerf. It's when he just survives after counter ganking or counter jungling. Now he's dead because he's got that 20 less health. So it is significant. Tryndamere. Passive crit chance cap increased in late game. Tryndamere buff. Interesting. So resolving Tryndamere's long-standing crit chance dilemma, currently he needs to overcap on crit to reach 100%. But now he won't. Oh, wait, does he? I was unaware of that, I'm going to be honest. So crit chance cap per Fury upped to 35%. It is now 35, 40, 45, 50, scaling with the ultimate levels. That's a pretty big buff, isn't it, for Tryndamere? Again, we played him recently. I've got no interest on playing him again. Kakalio, thank you very much. 18 months in a row. But yeah, I've got no interest in playing him again. But like, if you're a Tryndamere player, I bet you're really happy. So there you go, Tryndamere players. Silas, what are they doing? I presume nerfs. W heal increased early. Okay. Decrease late. Heal ratio increased. Damage ratio increased. Hitting Silas's tank build. Yeah, but every single Silas that I've seen do fantastic has not gone tank. They've gone full damage and one-shot people. And then in late game, when they're nearly dead, they press W once in their full health. So the heal has gone up at rank 1, but then by rank 2 it's neutral to what it used to be, and then it slowly base nerfs, but with a 0.1 buff of a AP ratio. So they're trying to basically make him do an AP build rather than a tank build, and the damage ratio also has gone up by a 0.1 ratio. What a, like, do Riot play the game? Like, to me, like, again, I never like to load on the BM for the balance team because they go through a lot. But to me, this just kind of feels like none of the balance team play at high rating that have played against a Silas that's gone full AP. It is really obnoxious. I thought the champion was weak, and he kind of still is. But the one thing of that champion is his, like, damage potential is actually pretty good if he's doing well, but his healing is his problem. In full AP build, by the way, not again, I haven't even seen tank build. Who plays tank? But like, what? Okay, again, all the Silas players that I've seen in High Diamond and even Master MMR that play full AP, this is a straight up buff. So, interesting. But yeah, someone Twitch is saying it looks like this is only focused on pro play and low ELO. I partially do agree, because pro play is playing tank Silas, and I think low rating is playing tank Silas. But in high rating solo queue, they're playing AP Silas. So again, it's hard to balance it all, so maybe that's what's happening. But yeah, interesting. Yorick, oh god, my poor boy, my guy that I get confused with Urgot. Maiden damage and Mark proc damage decreased. Yeah, that makes sense. I was kind of expecting it. So many people in our Yorick episodes, people underestimate how much damage your Maiden is doing and like how much damage it's giving you and stuff. Yorick just wrecks fools. So it depends how much the nerf is. So it is now... The Maiden does... Wait, is that correct? The Maiden is doing now no damage practically at level 1 ult. It now is doing 0 damage at rank 1. But it might do a little bit from Yorick's bonus attack damage. But 0.5 of 0 is still 0, right? I don't know. But yeah, it's doing... Well, it still gives you the mark for maximum health. But the Maiden herself looks to be basically doing no damage. Interesting. Again, it is a nerf, obviously, because, like, you know, it's 5% to 3%, 7%, 7.5 to 6, 10 to 9. But you have to remember that Yorick isn't a level 6 really all-in champion. He scales. So people on Twitch are saying it might be, Maiden still might do damage of 0.5 of Yorick's total damage, which is, again, it did do that, but it did do a little bit of its own. But still, like, I don't think it's going to affect him that much, if I'm honest. Just saying. Because, like, again, level 6 Yorick, you don't really fight anything at level 6. Like, you know, you might outscale a Renekton or a Pantheon by then, but the other popular top laners, you can't fight yet. It's like level 9 is when you start being able to fight them. And then, yeah, just wait until you're level 11 now. So... and again, Conqueror for Yorick still might be good. Grass the Undying has always been good for him, so I don't think this is a massive change to Yorick. I think Yorick players will be fine, but a nerf, by the way, was needed. He has been ridiculously strong for the past few weeks. I presume nerfs Reksai. So I will say this would be a high rating nerf if they nerf her. Fix the bug with R could deal damage twice? Wow. Dude, is that why sometimes you just get one shot by a Reksai? Is that you just got hit twice? That would be interesting, because, yeah, definitely it's happened to me that I just got murdered by a Reksai after ult. I was like, that just did, like, 600 damage at, like, level 6. So that would make sense. But, yeah, they fixed that, which I guess is a nerf, but it's a nerf because it was a bug. So it's not actually any nerfs, though. Anything else? All random nerf, I don't care about. They're just doing general buffs. Bug fixes a lot. Our skins this patch, we've got Prestige Ari. And we've got Archlight Brand. I don't actually know if they're out yet. But yeah, so that's going to be it for this patch. Honestly, I agree with pretty much everything that they're doing. Some champions, like, you know, Skarner's just a bit random. But, like, buff. I play Miko, buff. Akali got buffed. The new Kayle Morgana. Skarner, again, that's for one tricks because no one else plays him. Vi could be interesting. I might try her out because that could be very interesting. I think she could be quite good now. The only really thing I disagree with, honestly, Gangplank buffs, that's awesome for me. The only thing I disagree with really is this, is I don't understand, you know. Yes, it's hurting his tank build, but it's buffing his AP build, which I also think has problems too. So, I don't know. It's hard to balance. But anyway, that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of the patch. And if you, like... The one thing that I always kind of want to know from my audience is there something that you were like, I was expecting that in the patch that isn't here? Like, oh, that champion should have got nerfed, and they're not getting nerfed. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, like, subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.